Nobody buys. Bob Lutz said nobody buys anything without an emotional connection. You can run it through spreadsheets all you want, but in the end, the conclusion you come up with is the one that makes you feel good. In other words, I compared all the features of all those guitars. I compared all the pricing, and I came up with the one that gives me the most features for the least amount of money, and now I'm happy. I feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I regularly harp on Loewy's description of equal quality, equal function, equal price. Then they buy the better looking one. So yeah, once you reconcile quality, function, and price, once you reconcile those things, then you can switch over to emotions at that point in time. But I think you still have to reconcile the functional object. Because I mean, an instrument is a functional object. I'm
going to add one more thing to that.
Okay.
The personal connection.
Personal connection.
We talked about that a little bit earlier, and that's one of the reasons why I've been on tour for 6 weeks.
Yes.
Equal design, equal function, relatively equal tone and performance.
Yeah.
If I shake your hands and look you in the eye,
yeah,
and we connect as humans, then you're going to prefer, you're automatically going to feel more connected to,
more disposed
to
predisposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would much rather support somebody I know and like. I will get much more out of that product, and I hate to call it a product, but I'm using product in a general sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will enjoy my new mountain bike much more because I feel connected to that company.
Yes.
They're not. It's not just a corporation that sold me a widget to do a job. No, this is the experience as I'm riding it.
Yeah.
It'll be better.
Yes.
So, I kind of cut you off there at the knees, but
no, I don't think so. I think it's another variable, but you're only willing to go so far. I think it's possible that you'll favor the person to pay a little bit more money, possibly.
Yeah.
And if quality doesn't matter so much to you, the personality might have you playing a lesser quality product because you like that person more, for the personal connection. Quality,
within reason.
Function, and the functionality of it, you might be willing to put in a little more work to playing something because of your connection to that person.
Yep.
I think that it's certainly something, but the word that we're missing at the beginning is that when we take two products that are equal and that's that we've already leveled them out so that we're approaching them in an equal setting. Right. So they're equal in quality, in function, and in price. Then we choose the better looking one. Was what Raymond Loewy was talking about with industrial design and the reason of beautifying things. The first thing that Loewy ever got a contract for industrial design, because he was an illustrator, is he did some illustration work with, I think, the Pennsylvania Railroad Company, although it might have been a different one. But the point is, an early 20th century railroad company that was coming in and out of New York.
Yeah.
And he said, I love trains, I want to design a locomotive for you. And the guy said, that's really interesting. You know what, we're having a problem with the trash cans at Penn Station. Do you think you could help us with them? He said, yes, I can. I'll have 3 options for you on your desk in like 2 days or 3 days. And Loewy designed a better functioning and better looking trash can for Penn Station.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and guess what? He eventually got to design trains. And the first sort of streamlined locomotives, we went from basically being like an oil barrel and like a stacked pipe on it into these beautiful, long sort of sloping machines.
Yeah.
That's sort of Raymond Loewy's sort of period. And but he had to make it function. And of course, the fact that he shook his hand probably did mean something for 2 industrial designers as to why he got the job over someone else. But then he still had to perform. And I think you going around the world shaking people's hands, I mean, trust me, you know this. I've spent a lot of years on the road. I've been in every major city in North America, every state, every province, most of Europe. I totally agree with you with meeting people and making a difference face to face. I'm not trying to argue that at all. But in the end, if your base sucked, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm speaking equitable products, and you know, there is no best bass guitar. There is no best guitar. There are guitars that are really, really at the top of human ability to make something that functional and that beautiful. But is a Federa better than a Tobias?
Right.
Well, yes to the Federa customers, no to the Tobias customers.
Right.
So in that case, how do you know, why do they choose one over the other if they're relatively equal in tone, construction, quality, and so on and so forth?
It's the relationship in the tribe, and you actually really do see that with, particularly at the NAMM show. And bass players are different. Guitar players come by themselves, maybe with a friend. Bass players, there'd be like a whole community. It's like churches happening at the Tobias booth. You know, there's like 20 people sitting there, man, and they're playing, they're passing the bass back and forth to each other. Oh man, check this out. And they're giving it back and forth to each other the whole time. And I don't see that I see a little bit with drummers, but I don't see it. Bass players are different. There's a communal, which is funny because there's always one bass player in the band, but when they get together, and there's a tribe of people at Mike Tobias's booth, and there's a tribe of people around the Dingwall booth in a different kind of way.
Very, very supportive of each other.
Yeah.
That could just be bass players, or it could also be the culture that a brand develops. And that happens organically. How you treat your customers. The customers that you piss off because of your style of dealing with them, they go to somebody else. And the customers that really appreciate how you treat them stick with you. And so you, one by one, you develop a culture around your business.
Thank you for watching and listening. You can find more episodes wherever you listen to your podcasts. And a special thanks to those who support us on Patreon. It's your support that enables us to do this work.